Not good. Not good. Josh Allen shows up to Joe Brady's introductory press conference in a boot and on crutches. And you wonder, okay, sometimes this is precautionary. You put a player in a boot when there's some sort of issue. It just helps the healing real quickly. But then we hear that he has a broken bone in his foot. Not ideal situation. Painful throughout the weeks. He said it was an older injury. He re-aggravated against Cleveland. 5th metatarsal. Brandon Beane said that a procedure was done on Monday. So this is definitely kind of out of the blue. But we're so far away from even camp. I don't think it's an issue or anything we should concern ourselves with. But we got to kind of keep on our toes just if there's something in particular off about this thing, or he has some sort of setback, or they have to do a second surgery, or there's something really wrong with the foot. An older injury that lingered, you wonder, how he had broken metatarsal. Like, maybe he had some soreness there and they didn't realize what was really going on, and he kept playing through a pretty bad situation. But we'll talk about it here. We won't be here too long. I was going to get some sleep. Your boy is in the middle. I'm at the peak of my cold or flu or whatever it is. But we'll talk about this. I'll open the phone lines briefly, and there's not much here. We're so far away from week 1, but it's something to note. It might make them pretty cheap at a trade right now because people are just weird. They're fickle. Hey, Josh Allen's hurt. You want to trade? He runs too much. You want to trade him? Hey, they did bad last year. Want to trade him? Hey, Joe Brady got elevated. Want to trade him? It just makes for a good trade conversation. The Fantasy Football Show Breaking News Edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
We may or may not have, I don't think alerts went out on this one because we just ended the other live stream. And I don't know why YouTube does that. You're like, hey, I want to be notified of every show. Okay, but do you? Have a double confirmation. I want to be notified about all shows, and have another. I really want to be notified about all shows, because when you go live after another live, look, we got 9 people in here. Like, what the hell is going on there? Josh Allen, broken 5th metatarsal. It happens. Let's ask Kruger real quickly what the time frame is on that. It's not even. Hey Kruger. What is the timetable on in a procedure was just done? A 5th metatarsal, broken bone in the foot. Josh Allen is on crutches in a walking boot. What are some of the concerns we should have here? I mean, we're here in January, and he's not going to have any problem being ready for football activities.
So a 5th metatarsal fracture, especially if we're talking about the kind called a Jones fracture, can be a tricky one. Recovery often takes about 6 to 8 weeks for the bone to heal, sometimes longer if surgery was involved, but returning to full football activities can push into 3 to 4 months. Now, if he's in a walking boot right now, that's pretty standard early protection. Concerns, re-injury is the big one. But if all goes smoothly, he should be back well before training camp. It's January now, he's got plenty of time.
Yeah, I look, like I said, we got to stay on our toes, as I said at the top of the show, just because, you never know if there's a setback, re-injury, as you just said, re-injury in rehab. Like if there's something going on with the foot that's more complicated than is being described to us, then there could be some bigger issue, and they're like, oh, we got to go back. You know what I mean? Like, so you got to worry about that compensation injuries. So stay on your toes. But honestly, even if it was, let's say, a 3-month situation before he's fully back, you're talking about February, March, April. You're talking about the draft ending, and then we go into May, and then you have June. Like, I'm not worried about this at all. If anybody's gonna panic over this in a dynasty league, and I'm not saying everybody will, but people are weird, bro. People are weird. If anybody's gonna panic over this, I'd jump all over a Josh Allen trade. An Underdog promo code Smitty will be drafting probably tonight on Underdog. Play 5, get 75. They'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. Make sure you check out those numbers below if you need any help at all. If you're concerned with your play or anything like that. I mean, Josh Allen going at 3.4 to 3.8 right now before this news simmers throughout the best ball ADP data. I think maybe it could go late third now, maybe top of 4, 4.1, 4.3, 3.10. Why? Because people are fickle. It's on their mind right now. They're thinking, I kind of didn't want Josh. I was going to go Josh Allen, but now I'm like, he's running too much. Joe Brady, I don't know. I just kind of like, I'm going to move him down a couple spots. It's going to get in people's minds a little bit. It's the way it is. Joe Burrow signs a fat new contract. People just draft him a little bit higher. Not everybody's as smart as you think. So very, very intrigued by this situation affecting something when we're literally little less than 8 months out of football. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Not saying you're going to get them for pennies on the dollar in a dynasty league. I'm just saying people are weird. Like example, someone has Josh Allen and they have Caleb. Someone has Josh Allen and they have some other player, and then they're trying to decide who to trade. They're like, Josh Allen's injured. What if this Jones fracture? People are weird about Jones fractures and Liz Frank injuries. A lot of people get fed, and it's true that like you walk into a season with the Jones fracture or a Liz Frank injury, you really could have problems all year long. But the difference between that and having a procedure and heading into the very beginning, the Super Bowl hasn't even occurred yet. Heading into the very beginning of the offseason, not concerned at all. But a Jones fracture is like a bad phrase to say out loud. It's like saying Josh Allen 3 times in the bathroom in the dark. Things will not go well for you. Saying Jones fracture, saying Liz Frank, people they hear it so much they're brainwashed into saying, I might want to run away from this. So it's fine by me. Always going to have a little bit of risk of re-injury, with these kinds of things, but we'll watch it. We'll definitely have enough time in home leagues drafting in September or late August, mid-August, whatever, to react and know what the hell's going on. So really this is kind of are you going to bank on him in Dynasty, which has long-term value anyway, so who cares if you misjudge this and he has a setback? It's Dynasty. And in best ball, you're going to have diverse teams anyway. I don't feel risky at all drafting Josh Allen. So this is a win for anybody that is going to draft and they get him 1 spot later, 2 spots later. Who the hell cares? Smitty, I'm also in a boot and on crutches. Badly fractured my 5th metatarsal. Surgery on Monday. Lucky not a Jones, just a fracture. Hey, Simi Valley, prayers up to you, and we'll give you send you to I'll give you a mashed potato. It's going to be interesting for you to tell us where you're at. Now, that I know of, pristine athlete going through, same rehab and trainers and all that, but it'll be interesting to tell us, hey, I'm running full speed through the kitchen to get that hot pocket out of the oven because Ma put it in for you, and you're taking it out on your own, and you're all good to go. Once we get that sign off, then we know Josh Allen's fine.
I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf.
Oh, God. Simi Valley, thank you for the super chat. I'm about done. I'll take a couple phone calls. That's it, and then I'm out of here. Your boy's exhausted to the max. I'm on 0 sleep. I've been up for 33 hours. Don't ask me why. I just couldn't sleep last night. I slept throughout the day yesterday, through the beginning part of this cold, and then it just wouldn't let me sleep last night because I slept so long. Mouth breathing like a Bobby. Thank you. Appreciate you again, Simi Valley, and speedy recovery, pal. Speedy recovery. We got 10 gifted memberships from who? Who's this? Or 5. Mr. T dropping 5 gifted memberships. Attaboy, Mr. T. Nice work, pal. Nice work. Give him a. Travis, you're live.
What's up?
What's up?
I think really there's only two takeaways from this. I think you pretty much covered them. And, something to just monitor like going forward in the future. And, because he takes a lot of wear and tear. Gets beat up a lot during the season. How he plays. But so if next year you start seeing more lower body injuries, leg injuries, or another foot injury or something like that, then maybe it's something you really watch and see if it starts to slow him down at all. But until then, I don't worry much about that at all. And I think the bigger takeaway is, like you said, seeing the league for what you can do. I think it, could be a very good way to gear up from a T-Law or a Dak.
I just think, I think people,
Williams, something like that.
I think people will be thinking just random, not everybody, like one out of like 6 or 7 dynasty owners are going to be like, just they were on the fence anyway because they have 2 quarterbacks, let's say, and so 1 QB. Now, if Josh Allen's their sole provider in a 1 QB, Superflex, you're not going to get him, but you could try. It'd be the best opportunity you would ever have to get Josh Allen in the next 5 years would be right now, even though the opportunity is still tough. But on a 1 QB, if someone's got just Josh Allen and you're like, well, I'll give you Baker, they're just going to be like, kick rocks, bro. Like, I'd rather take this gamble. They'd have to be looking at I could use Josh Allen to go get this player, and then I can elevate who I've kind of been wanting to elevate anyway. In the injury here, what if this lingers? What if this, that's you just got to hope the right combination of everything's lining up. Otherwise, it's not going to work in everyone's situation. People are going to be in here going, no one's trading Josh Allen. The world revolves around me, Smitty, in my exact leagues. No one's trading Josh Allen. Like, of course, that might be the case for a lot of people. But guess what? A lot of people are not that smart. How many people in your league, at least 1 or 2, just make weird trades? You catch them sleeping. You see this photo. You got another quarterback. Someone has Caleb and Josh Allen, and they're like afraid to take the leap or whatever. Now, all of a sudden, they will. So who knows?
I think it's a good opportunity if you have, say, a late first this year. You could take, for example, a late first and Jalen Hurts to try to get up to Josh Allen, something like that. And because people vastly overvalue late first round picks, especially, this year, like you said.
Yeah. I think
worth throwing out there.
I think a quarterback that I could send packing pretty easily in some sort of deal would be let's see.
Well, would you move Hurts? Get up to Allen?
I think, it would depend on all my builds, but yes, I would. I mean, would I move him straight up? Absolutely. Would I give up a first rounder? Depends what the first rounder could be. If there's a 28 first rounder, my team's loaded, I'd be like, I'd try and get a second so that I feel like I'm just moving it. But I mean, yeah, I'd rather have Josh. I think Hurts losing late first.
26, 1.08.
1.08. I think I would. Look, Jalen Hurts might lose AJ Brown and the tush push. I'd definitely rather have Josh Allen. Josh Allen to me is a league winner. I think Josh Allen deserves. I'm not saying take him here. I'm just telling you, old school, he would have went for the first round, and there's a reason he would have went in the first round. I'm talking 12, 10, because he scores, he carries you, especially in 6-point per TD leagues. But he carries you, and the good news is you'll never have to pay, even if you're in Aunt Edna's league, you'll never have to pay anything but a mid-second round pick in the weirdest of 1 QB leagues like that with Edna and Uncle Bud. But if you're in a Shark league, for some reason Sharks are stupider when it comes to the quarterback situation. Don't ask me why, but you get them in 3. And it's big grin on my face. And you could say till you're blue in the face, Smitty, but there's so many good cornerbacks later on. Call me up. Call me up and tell me that. I'll show you exactly why that doesn't make sense. Because I'm tired of repeating it.
Oh, another thing I'll tell you is there's a narrative formed around that he failed during the fantasy playoffs. And it's not necessarily true. But what it is that last 2 years, I'm looking at his points, from weeks 15 to 17, there's been 1 week each of the past 2 years where he scored like 6 points and 14 points. So he lost the week for some people. So that narrative has formed around us now that he'll get you there, but you can't win with him in fantasy.
Yeah, and I already went on a rant. I'm not sure if you're here for the earlier show.
No, I got to rewatch it. I missed it.
Yeah. So what I went on a little Joe Brady rant. I just said, look, there's pros and cons. Like the cons are that they didn't go for a bigger name that we liked better. We liked as a outside perspective. We liked Dable or Harbaugh or McDaniel. Obviously, Mafia Mike would have been amazing. But once we get past all those big names, like Joe Brady, what has Josh Allen been? QB1. How many years? Over and over, his top 3 QB every single year.
Yeah.
How good's James Cook? Number 1 rusher in the league? Like, I get he doesn't have weapons, but that's not Joe Brady's fault. It hasn't been as an offensive coordinator. You only have so much pull as an offensive coordinator. Now, he might not have as much pull as a head coach either. That's kind of the concern, is that, like, they hire within, and like I've given an example to everybody watching, if you got elevated, if your boss got raptured and the desk was open, they would turn to you and say, they wouldn't turn to you and go, oh, please, will you take it? They turn to you and go, we'll give you the spot, comes with no raise, get in your cubicle, biatch. And then you're like, thank you so much for giving me this raise or this promotion. And they take advantage of you because what are they going to do? What are you going to do? Say no? They'll just go out and hire somebody else. It's like the opportunity's there. You're not going to have as much leverage. You're going to get shoved in there without a whole. Whereas if Harbaugh, he walks in like a brilliant, mad scientist that he is, walks into New York and says, I'll take the job. And then everybody starts screaming and cheering. They're Harbaugh. All the fans are locked in. And then he leans in and goes, but I'm not reporting to Joe Shine. And they're like, what are we going to do? We have to accept this. If we don't accept it, he'll walk away. We'll look like morons. We'll be the laughing stock of the league. Our fan base will hate us. Deal. Like, that's how you negotiate. That's what's frustrating when you're trading with somebody and you go, okay, we good? We'll trade this. And then out of nowhere, they throw in, and it's annoying. And sometimes if you do it, you're ruining a trade relationship, and it's ridiculous, and you get so upset. It's frustrating. Someone's like, throw in a second. You're like, what do you mean? We just got a deal done. They're like, throw in a second. It's frustrating, but it's a negotiation tactic for sure. And so that's the cons of Joe Brady. Point is, being elevated from within, he probably doesn't have a lot of pull. He probably accepted things that he couldn't demand much. He just had to take it. Look, do you want us to interview someone else, Joe, or do you want it? Oh, no, I'll take it. And I'm not saying he can get a pay raise or anything. I'm just saying, like, it's watered down, a watered down offer. Overall, power, everything. That said, it's Joe Brady has, first of all, it's Josh Allen wants him. This is Josh Allen's choice. This is Josh Allen's best friend. Now, is it good to mix that? Well, he's already been the OC, so we know it works. But is that the right? Is maybe Josh Allen not clear-headed because it's his best friend? Maybe not. But Joe Brady helped make him the number 1 quarterback over and over and over again, or top 3 over and over and over again. Cook delivered. Yeah. And if they do give him a weapon, who knows what this can be? A lot of everything you see is still like Joe Brady's situation and setup. It doesn't matter. Like, Josh Allen is awesome at improvising, but a lot of what you see is still Brady's concepts, and people need to realize that. And I also reacted the way people react. I'm like, what? Whoa. But you got to step back and just kind of take it in and say, why is everybody saying what they're saying? They heard it somewhere. Why does everybody go, Joe Brady, what a bad move? How many people told you that? Do you know it's a bad move? I have the phone line open. I on the last show, I said, anybody call it. Here's the phone number.
Call into the show. Call in.
You want to call in and dunk on me and say, let me tell you why Joe Brady's bad. The phone line's open. I'll wait for you. I'm not even saying that you can't provide a good piece of info that I'll listen to, but no one's going to be able to call in and say, let me tell you why Joe Brady's bad, because all they're doing is, in a narrow-minded fashion, here's somebody else say it, they repeat it, and they have no evidence or anything else to follow up with. It's just like, I heard this is bad. It's bad, huh? Yeah, it's bad? Go ahead, Travis.
Like, yeah, so my whole thing was like, I'm not a big fan of Joe Brady's play calling from what I've seen. Now, that could all change too if you get true number one wide receiver in here. But in terms of fantasy, I'm not worried about fantasy at all. The part about the Joe Brady hired kind of bummed me out and annoyed me, even as a Patriots fan, though. I think it could hinder his ability to win a Super Bowl. I don't know. We have to see for sure. But if he is somewhat of a lame duck guy that can't make the decisions he wants, or he doesn't change the way they've been, seemed intent on spreading the ball around, you can't get Josh Allen to that Super Bowl because, at the end of the day, yeah, I root for the Patriots, but I want to see Josh Allen win a Super Bowl. Like all the great quarterbacks.
I want it almost more than
multiple Super Bowls and win a Super Bowl. So, that was a standpoint I kind of came. But
yeah, I want it.
You can't argue with it.
No, you can't.
Whether
nobody will call in and argue. You can't.
Or Joe Brady's been good. He's been one or two for the best this year.
There's nothing to argue. The other thing I'll say is I mean, at the end of the day, hold on, we got a caller. Let's see. You're live. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello.
My name is Hans. I'm calling from Montana.
Your name is what? Pam? Pan?
Hans.
Pan or Pam?
A-N-S.
Pan?
Montana. Yeah.
Okay. What can I do for you, bro? You're live.
So I was just looking at when Joe Brady joined the Bills as a quarterback coach in 22 and the interim coordinator in 23, and then the last 2 years was offensive coordinator and head coach. And I was wondering if there maybe was a correlation between his passing and his rushing. So he had 646 pass attempts in 2021, 567 in 2022.
Diggs.
549 in 23.
Diggs, no Diggs.
The last 2 years, he had 483 pass attempts or less.
Diggs, no Diggs.
Now that he's running the show, I'm just wondering.
Diggs, no Diggs. Diggs, no Diggs. I mean, they don't have weapons, bro. They just don't have weapons. It's like I said, like you can't really blame that on an offensive coordinator. You can't blame it on an offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator is not responsible in any way of going and getting the talent. In some cases, the head coach isn't either. But you just gotta know what situation's what. But look, Josh Allen has no weapons, bro. The fact that he's done what he's done with no elite wide receivers is crazy. Now, if you want to say, oh, but this won't work because they won't bring someone in, that has nothing to do with the topic of conversation. Any coach that they bring in, if they don't give them weapons, it's the same thing. The question is, bro, you bring somebody else in. We've seen Joe Brady do it with what he's got in front of him right now. I can't guarantee you that another coach can come in here and without weapons, if they don't end up providing the new head coach with weapons, that someone can do what Joe Brady's been doing. Joe Brady's been making wine out of dried grapes. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen's been elite all of this time, bro. James Cook's been balling. Knox and Kincaid have been in their bag this year. The combination, it's been pretty good. There's nobody. It's not Joe Brady's fault. I mean, to do what he's done is magnificent. Diggs was, and also the other thing too about what Travis said about spreading it around, and I'm not yelling at Travis's take, just trying to answer it, is that, look, Josh Allen is responsible for going through progressions and changing things at the line and figuring out it's not all going to be, hey, you're throwing it to it's Josh Allen's making these spread around decisions himself, but partly because he has no one that he can literally count on like he did Stephon Diggs. And I don't think that just because he's gotten in this habit that he wouldn't gravitate back to feeding and spoon feeding on Mike Evans. But Joe Brady's getting a bad rap when honestly, bro, and I used this example earlier. What do you don't have to tell me where you work or anything. Don't give me specifics, but what do you do roughly? What kind of work?
Seasonal farmer.
Okay, farmer. So are you the head? Are you the head farmer? No? Okay.
No.
So if your boss is making shitty decisions about choosing this gig or getting the wrong equipment and somebody's judging you for what you're doing when your boss is making all of the bigger decisions and you're kind of just like, bro, my hands are tied. And someone promotes you to your boss's job and they're judging you based on your boss's work. That we still got to remember, Joe Brady hasn't been in the big seat. He's been kind of handcuffed. We don't know what he'll do. He might fail. We've seen great minds that are good OCs like Mike McDaniel look pretty crappy in the role, but maybe Joe Brady is way better than we think in the big seat too. Maybe Joe Brady with more responsibility can make decisions that he kept saying, I don't want to do that, but I'm not making that call. Let's go ahead and do this. Like, I want to run this. I want to make this offense. No, you don't want it. Okay, McDermott. Like we don't know. You know what I mean? The fact that he's done what he's done with what he's been given is kind of amazing. And I'll say this, even though Josh Allen might be blinded by best friend, BFF, connection here, Josh Allen's been delivering, man. I mean, if Josh Allen trusts him, I trust Josh Allen to trust him more than I trust myself to know if this is like right or wrong when I'm feeling on the fence about it,
Cool. Can I ask you a question on that though, real quick?
Yeah.
Is that why do you trust Josh Allen when so many other times, and I do it too, we question players? Do they really know what's good for them?
Well, that's why I posed the question.
Playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say that it's a lock, but I just say if Josh Allen trusts him, I trust him. But it's that's why I keep saying, is he blinded? I'm posing the question. I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can about it, but at the same time, like what are we seeing that, like, again, let me back up and just say, what is the evidence in front of us that Joe Brady's good? The Bills keep making it pretty far. The Bills keep falling short, but we can say they don't have the weapons needed. Just like Baltimore didn't have Derrick Henry, even though Baltimore is kind of a bad example because they haven't done it since getting Henry, but they've been a stronger team. And so the Bills haven't done that either. So I still tie that nothing to Joe Brady. It's not his fault. The fact that this team is successful and Josh Allen's been balling out. James Cook's the best he's ever been. The offensive line, the way they've been blocking for James Cook, the rushing attack has just been marvelous. Everything that has weaponry is good. So if Joe Brady's responsible for this, I trust. If Josh Allen is saying, hey, it's not like I'm telling you, trust me, like the Jets situation, let's say. The Jets have been awful, and someone walks in and goes, trust me, this will be good. Give Aaron Glenn a shot. And we're like, what? Like, Joe Brady's been doing it. Like, he's been doing well. The Bills have been doing well, so much so that people thought it was crazy to fire McDermott. But Joe Brady's the one kind of moving this engine and getting it all cooking. Like, so I just don't know why no one's giving it a shot, especially inside Buffalo. They're a very reactionary fan base. But I just don't. No one can give me any tangible evidence why Joe Brady's not good. Nobody. It's all just speculation that because they've fallen short, he's been there. It's his fault. They've fallen short in big moments. They've gotten far. And Josh Allen trusts him. I trust you. And Josh Allen, to a degree, is like one of those guys that's like, you definitely need to manage the offense, but Josh Allen's bigger than the average, superhero that's under center. And it's like, it takes a special coach to be able to allow Josh Allen the freedom to also, in a way, be somebody that's directing this film as well. Like he's a very unique quarterback, and I think Brady gets the most out of him. I truly do. What were you gonna say, Travis?
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I mean, like I said, I more so have my doubts about, can he take it to the next level, or are they just going to do the same thing? Might not even be Joe Brady's fault,
It's
but
not,
that will be if they get a legitimate number one wide receiver here.
Yeah,
Because,
but
you know,
I think head coaches deserve more than 1 year. And so if let's say they do bring in a receiver, then it's gonna be tough to know. Like they need if this Mike Evans, he might only have 1 year, so that will be a crappy 1 year. If, let's say someone gets injured, Mike Evans gets injured, Josh Allen gets injured, and everyone's like, this Joe Brady sucks. But I think that the fact that they haven't, like, worrying about whether he hasn't done it, but then you see that they're literally neglecting the talent pool. I don't know how we can judge anybody. Even if they brought McDaniel in and they didn't get a wide receiver, you might not see. McDaniel might be worse than Brady working with unfamiliar assets while not getting the support he needs. And Brady's literally turning, dried grapes into wine. Like that's the part that I look at. I see Joe Brady doing what he's doing with no wide receivers, and I'm more impressed than I am worried. I guess that's the way I'm looking at it.
like, and again, it could be the whole, like, and because I'm a past fan, I think about past seasons, like, when the Patriots had Reese Caldwell 2006 as their number one wide receiver, the passing attempts went down. So maybe that's why. But to me, in no world should Josh Allen only be throwing the ball under 500 times. You need him at 550 times, 100 times a year.
I think they know that. I think
Talent, and he's going to get beat up.
they know that, and I think they're going to bring in a receiver. I really think this time is going to be different. I think Mike Evans makes the most sense because you can make it a 2-year team friendly deal that it costs a lot of money, but it's a very short commitment, and you're just going to get a little burst of you got to pay him, but it's not going to be something extremely long term. Could it be a Wandell? Could it be a Dobbs? Yeah, and that will disappoint me. I'll get behind it, and I'll be happy enough that there's an addition. But I really do hope, or if they draft, let's say Denzel Boston, um, Malachi Fields is another one that I really really like. But it just depends. Like Denzel Boston would be interesting, but you could also do Mike Evans and still get Denzel Boston, or you make some sort of trade for BTJ or a Dunze or trade your second rounder for a Dunze or something.
Josh Allen deserves Evans and someone that they're developing. Wow.
Yeah.
Smitty, why are you so confident Evans is going somewhere? I just feel like he's such a dog for life.
I went
guy. What?
I went live on it because the report today suggested he is leaving. So we just went live on that. That's the show I just got off. Not to mention they have a boatload of wide receivers in the room. Teams.
Godwin's locked up.
Yeah, Godwin's got a new deal. They're moving forward with Ibuka becoming their number one wide receiver, regardless of what people want to say about that. And is there a chance he doesn't want to leave? That information is not out yet, and the speculation is purely speculation from other people. But bro, at the Senior Bowl, this is one of the bigger reports, and this is why I went live on it earlier, is that Josh Allen is expected to not return to Tampa Bay. That was the big headline. So why am I confident? Because it's a mother freaking headline, bro. What else you got?
No, just been calling. Thanks for having me.
All right, man.
You're the best.
All right, later, bro. Bruce is loose over on the other line. Bruce, go ahead. You're live quickly.
Hey, Smitty, quick question, but it's gonna make me sound dumb. Who are you more afraid of injury-wise during the season, Josh Allen or Bo Nix?
Bo Nix. Bo Nix is reportedly. I mean, there's a little turmoil going on in Denver right now because Sean Payton came out and said, he's had multiple foot issues, and then Nix came out and said he shouldn't have said that because he doesn't really know. And there was a report that his foot injury was inevitable to happen, that he's had a lot of foot issues, ankle issues, and that it was bound to be an issue and need surgery. And we didn't know that, or I don't even know if that's true because Bo Nix is trying to say that a lot of it isn't true. It's kind of wild over there right now. Josh Allen is a refrigerator, bro. He's played through this. He said it was painful. It wasn't like it happened and he couldn't have played if they had advanced or something. He's literally been playing on it, and he's just a monster. I mean, every running back that runs is going to have some injury risk, but and as Travis said, as he gets older, it might become more prevalent. But I'm not worried about him, bro. I've drafted Josh Allen without a hesitation in the third round. It's such a steal. I hope he falls to 4.1, 4.2, 4.3.
Josh Allen is like, he's like some combo between somebody and Big Ben. He's a more athletic Big Ben in terms of he's got the big arm and he can just move and get out of trouble and he can take the beating. Long term, Houston keeps happening without throwing quite as much without a wide receiver one. That might worry me a few years down the line, but he's able to take a beat.
He's also like the kind of quarterback that you're not really hitting him the way that other quarterbacks, like thinner quarterbacks like Lamar, are getting hit in the knees. Like Josh Allen's literally like kind of falling into you. It's like you're both falling down together. There's not like he's really getting tackled.
You're not hitting him.
Yeah. Even when you try to go for his legs, he's gonna like push you down, and like there's if you watch Josh Allen, there's not as many of those hits that like a Lamar takes or even a Mahomes in some cases, but he's kind of like he's really controlled. And he's such a big dude that it really, it does only like a freak ACL tear or something where his leg's locked. Anybody has their leg locked and it gets hit, snap. And that's a freak. Sometimes you get caught in the turf and it snaps. But Josh Allen's like he's a different build. He truly is my favorite player in the league. I love Josh Allen. I'm kind of mad I took down the glass board that had Josh Allen on it because now I always reference it and I'm like, oh, it's not there. Yeah, Josh Allen was always looking down on the show. Now he's not. All right, Bruce, final thoughts.
A good show and some bad news.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not great news, but it's nothing burger as far as I'm concerned. It's an opportunity, man. Every injury where it's nothing burger or likely nothing burger is an opportunity. It's not gonna be an opportunity for everybody, but you need to poke around and try. All right. Later, Bruce.
Ready?
Later, Travis. Final thoughts.
I agree with you. It's an opportunity. Just quick on Kubiak. The news is just coming out. Expected that the Raiders will offer him the job. Seeing the Cardinals are going to offer him the job as well. There was what his sources. Raiders' job is his if he wants it.
Yeah.
One of those two teams will end up. Yeah. You would take.
Yeah, the Cardinals are not as attractive of a place. If you think about Kubiak and what he wants to accomplish, I don't know that Brissett's going to be looked at. I think people are intrigued by Brissett, but I don't know. It's weird because on Underdog, Brissett's going in the late, like 12, 13, 14 round range. It's weird how he's not being bought into, which it's crazy late, but why is it there? Like, are the Cardinals so dumb that they're going to, because the Cardinals' new head coach might say I want Kyler. And maybe the organization says, look, you're coming into this job not having Kyler. I want you to know that. We don't know those details. I imagine that's what you do, but this is the Cardinals. Who knows? They're kind of a bad run organization. I can say that because I'm in Arizona. But I don't know. I think, how could you, if we know Kubiak at all, he wants to have that balanced attack. He wants to have his JSN, whether it's Bowers or JSN. It doesn't. It's still a downfield monster, and Genty's better than Walker and Charbonnet combined, in my opinion. Not to tear down Walker or Sharps or anything. It's just Genty to me is a generational talent. And then Mendoza over Darnold. I mean, we're gonna have some Darnold people are be like, "What are you saying? I'm gonna call in." Well, I'll wait for you. The phone line's open. Dial in. Mendoza over Darnold all day if you're starting a franchise. And so, this is a great place. Not to mention, if you're Kubiak and you're a coach like Kubiak, or you're any coach, you love the idea of having that. If you believe the talent is there in Mendoza, and I think I do. I think most anybody does, especially Tom Brady, who loves him. You get to mold them from the jump. You don't have to come in year 2 or 3 and start teaching them your system. Mendoza comes into the NFL and he's got a blank slate, and you get to craft it the way you want. It's what Shanahan does so well. Shanahan doesn't even want. He doesn't even want. Shanahan wanted Purdy, loved Purdy, loves Mac Jones, loves the things where there's not this long history. It's somebody that hasn't really been fully formed yet. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be real exciting. Let me hit this call real quickly. Go ahead. I'm about out of here. So you got about 20 seconds. Go. You're live. Whoever this is. Where are you calling from? What's your name? Hello. Okay. Elijah. Okay. Your time to shine. You crap the bed. All right, Travis, final thoughts?
Yeah, no, just that would be, I don't know if in terms of coaching, a quarterback is coming to the NFL with more support than a Kubiak and a Brady mentoring him,
I know. Imagine thinking differently than that.
But like you said, that the tough part is Brissett. The problem with Brissett is he's probably too good and makes you too good to get a top, 5 pick next year. Granted, there's supposed to be some more quarterbacks coming out next year, so we'll see. But it's probably got to be the right coach that can, strike that balance between the draft and Brissett and what they have, make decisions on everything. So I think there's a lot of attractive pieces in Arizona. I think they need the right guy to pull it together, and they could be good pretty quick. But that'd be the right guy that can juggle all of it.
Yep. All right, Travis, we'll see you at 8 p.m. Later, bro.
Talk to you later.
Guys, I probably won't be back, even if something small, like if something huge broke. Huge, I will try and get back. But I can't imagine, even if the Kubiak thing becomes really close to happening, I'm probably going to wait till 8 p.m. I got to get some sleep. I'm on 0 sleep, and I haven't slept at all, not 1 hour. And this is about the time where I think my body's able to fall asleep now. But so I'll probably see you guys at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, appreciate you, and thank you for the super chats. And Simi Valley, hope you feel better and get better with your same injury that Josh Allen has. We'll be monitoring your progress, because and I don't mean this in a bad way, but if you're far along, he's further along. And so it'll be a good barometer for us. If Simi Valley's like, I'm out running around, we'll know Josh Allen's running around. You know what I'm saying? All right. See you all at 8 p.m. Appreciate you. Deuce. Check out the sponsors below. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com and make sure you join the Patreon, the 24/7 live chat group. Links are all in the description.